What is going on? The tea is piping hot, y'all. The tea is piping hot. And I can't wait for my third cup of tea. Oh, trouble. My guys, what is going on, YouTube? This is your girl Onye. Welcome to Onye's World. Hold on, let me fix this because I don't really like how this looks. Okay, we're making this. Okay, cool. Even though that did absolutely nothing. We're here, we're back. Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. It's been a minute. I know. I just dropped a whole like 10 videos for y'all and then just did a deuces for the rest of the year. But we're here, we're back. Today, as y'all can tell, we're going to be doing a review for Emily in Paris. So I first watched Emily in Paris, I think last year. Yes, this was last year. And I binge watched it. I know y'all binge watched it too. And it was fun, it was cool. I kind of liked it. It kind of hooked me in, you know, with oh my god, with all the characters. And whenever I hit record, I just tend to then forget all the characters' name. But it's, for those of you that don't know what Emily in Paris is, it's pretty much a show set in Paris about an American girl out of Chicago that goes to Paris to work for this marketing firm that's connected with I guess it's kind of like a subsidiary of a parent company, if you guys know what those are. And so she's there working as in lieu of her boss that got pregnant and is in the States. She goes there, doesn't know how to speak French at all, and then decides to pretty much mess things up in a way. But she's really good at social media. Her social media presence picked up through that, and she's really good at marketing. It also brings in this fashion sense into it, because hey, we're in Paris, right? Like, your fashion got to be on point. I mean, I'm sorry, your fashion got to be on point. So throughout, we see kind of her develop throughout the whole show, and her trying to break through the cultural norms and cultural bounds of exactly what she used to be. Yeah, you know, the American culture and French culture are completely different. So you not working there, embedding yourself in that society, and then not knowing how to speak French gets hard, you know, you have to make friends, but because of the language barrier now, you can't really make friends. She ends up making friends with one of her now close friends, who was from, I believe she's from China, but came to Paris to study and then just decided to stay there. Stay in her visa. And then she made another two friends, Gabriel, who is her downstairs neighbor as well as a chef, and also Camille, which is Gabriel's girlfriend. But she didn't know it was Gabriel's girlfriend until she kissed Gabriel. So scandal. If y'all don't know, I'm sorry, I just ruined it for you. Spoiler, I'm sorry, spoiler. But Emily in Paris really is a good watch. Now, that was season 1 ended where Gabriel broke up with his girlfriend and was supposed to move back to Normandy to open up his restaurant, because that's his dream, because he couldn't afford to stay in Paris and afford to open a restaurant in Paris, because it's too expensive, right? So season 1 ends with him no longer going, because he finds a investor, which is Sylvie's ex-boutin. Sylvie is Emily's boss at Savoy, which is the marketing firm. And so he's staying, and then she finds out, but she didn't know he was staying when she slept with him. Oh, scandalous. Oh, scandalous. So get this. So she kissed Gabriel before she met Camille. Well, she knew Camille really. She knew it together. And then, so she stayed away from him after that, even though they were all kind of friends together. She stayed away from him in that romantic setting, which is what you really do. Like, it was an unfortunate thing. So she tried to stay away from him. And then in the end, when she thought that they broke up and he was leaving for good, now she's only in Paris for 1 year, she sleeps with him. Tell me what y'all would do in this scenario, right? Someone you didn't know was together, you kissed the person. Would you tell that person when they became your friend, or would you just be like, I'm just gonna not say anything and leave it as be? And in the same breath, would you then go and sleep with the said guy when said guy says he's leaving, and you probably never gonna see him again, but you actually do have feelings for the guy? Would you? I don't know. So season 2 starts up from there, where she's like, okay, no Gabriel, no Gabriel, no Gabriel. Like, you're here, no, 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 no. Even though she likes him, but she's taking her friend, bringing her bros before hoes kind of situation. That's what she's doing in this instance. So it really is quite interesting. So I binge watched it on January 1st, New Year's. I binge watched it and I actually really enjoyed it. So it kicks off with like I was saying, Emily stepping off Gabriel, like, hell no, I'm not going to fall for that again, and I'm gonna cherish my friendship with Camille more. And now she's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do I tell Camille what happened and possibly lose her friendship, or do I keep lying and not say anything and just try and get Camille and Gabriel back together? Meanwhile, Gabriel, on the other hand, is obviously in love with Emily, wants to be with Emily, so he's doing everything in his power to pretty much get her back. Emily's like, hell no, I'm not going down that route. And then 2 episodes in, Camille finds out randomly. How? Because of a freaking omelet pan that this man decides to initial his signature on, his initials on. Why would you do? Who does that? Who engraves their initials on an omelet pan? I guess a chef, right? He does that, and then she finds out at Emily's birthday dinner. Which, in my point of view, right here, I'm gonna stop right here. My point of view is, if something like that happens, first of all, you should not have even slept with a man after knowing that that's your friend's ex-boyfriend, whatever it is. Even if you weren't really, whatever, that's your friend, don't do it. But you did it because you like that person. Tell her. After you figured out that, okay, he's staying, tell her. Yeah, she may hate you, but you did something foul. Like, each action comes with consequences, girl. So Camille is hating on Emily, wouldn't let Emily, Emily herself be the head of the marketing firm for her family's champagne chateau that they're doing, right? Their champagne campaign. Look at that they're doing, right? So all this is going down, and lo and behold, Emily then begins to meet someone new. And then, but before we even get to that part, Camille's mother asks Camille, hey, are you still in love with Gabriel? Do you want him back? And she's like, yeah, of course I'm still in love with him. I still want him back, but I can't believe what happened. But in the same breath, this boy doesn't really love you in that manner anymore. Like, y'all let me know in the comments, right? A man who slept with one of your friends clearly left you because he didn't want to be indebted towards you, and his feelings for you have kind of, even though you've been with him for 5 years, his feelings for you are gone. And he's clearly saying, like, yo, like, I don't want to be with you anymore, right? He said all of this, but you're still in love with him. Would you go back to him? Or would you try, not even go back to him, because he's not saying he wants you back. Would you try and do some sneaky stuff and try and get back together with him? That's the question here. Would you do that? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk. So back to the story for Emily in Paris, season 2. So we're on here, and her mother's like, pretty much what her mother's just telling her to do is go back and befriend Emily, and then make a pact with Emily that none of them will be with Gabriel. Now, y'all already know. You already know. When a girl says that, you already know. She's just trying to paint you into a corner so you don't pursue that. And they're also trying to guilt trip you into not pursuing anything, because if Emily didn't listen to her, she and Gabrielle would be together. Camille didn't want that, which I think was kind of griming Camille's part. And it's also going to bite her back in the butt, because you're forcing yourself back onto a man that doesn't really want you anymore. It's gonna bite you in the back. It may not be with Emily, maybe with another girl. So I don't know why females do that. Anyway, let me know if you know why females do that. Anyway, so the whole point is to befriend Emily back. Make that pact with Emily, saying that Emily's not gonna make any kind of moves on Gabrielle or accept Gabrielle's feelings for her, which he's been telling her, like, look, I really like you and I really want to be with you. And that also ends up happening. Camille does that when Emily and Gabrielle are about to be together. Like, she's like, okay, I could like you, and Camille doesn't want to speak to me anymore, so I might as well just go for it with you. In the same breath, Camille's also going back to what's his face? What's his man's face? Gabrielle, and wanted to be his friend again because they were friends before, but also trying to remind him of all the good times they had together. So then Emily's dumb self accepts Camille's pact of not going forward with Gabrielle, and then tells Gabrielle, like, oh well, I'm not good. She didn't tell Gabrielle that this was Camille's idea. She says that, oh, because they are on a short-term thing, she's only here short-term for just a year. She doesn't want to fall in love with him when it could really break her, because she's gonna be gone in a year. Exactly. Really, girl? Really? So I'm like, why would you do that? Why? Why would you go making a pact with a girl who hates you and has told you she hates you, but now it's coming back and trying to be kiki ha with you, saying, oh, I miss you as a friend? No. Your red flag should be going off. I don't know if it's being naive or something, but your red flag should be going off. It wasn't. Okay. So that's going on, and then but Gabrielle still hasn't like fully given into Camille. He's still in love with freaking Emily. But then Emily meets a man. Yes, I'm saying that because I need to know this actor's name, because he is beautiful. He is beautiful. She meets a British black man in her French class, because now she's taking French classes to at least be able to communicate a little bit better, because majority of her clients now are French. Like, it's a little insulting to go to a different country where you're going to be working and not even know the basics, you know? It's a little ignorant. But that's neither here nor there. So she meets him. He has this nasty attitude because he doesn't like France. He doesn't like being there. He doesn't want to know the language either. He's only there for work because they transferred him over there for a few months. And so from constant back and forth and them being partnered up, and she trying to show him her Paris, or how Paris really is, because he's a cynic. And, oh, Paris is romance. But, like, no, you don't go anywhere. You go to work and you come back home. And your work from home is like 10 minutes away. So how are you really enjoying Paris? How are you even experiencing Paris? You're not. So of course you're not gonna like it. But this man, oh y'all, that's all I gotta say. Like, I'm gonna put this picture right here. Like, y'all look at this man. Beautiful. And then the accent too, it's like, anyway, let's stop going down that rabbit hole. And so yeah, so he is on this, so he's a really cool guy, very fun guy, makes her break out of her shell. And while this is all going on, she starts to back away more from Gabriel. One, she's already told him that no, we're just gonna be friends. And two, she's seeing now what Camille's goal was all the while, was trying to get a little more closer towards him. Now Gabrielle has opened up a restaurant with the guy from Sylvie's ex-boo thing, and Savoy is the one doing the marketing for it. And so she's still in Gabrielle's life here and like there too, but in the same breath, our other guy, a British guy, is like, ooh, swooping in and taking her off her feet. And then Gabrielle meets the British guy randomly, because he left. So Emily and the British guy spend the night together. This is when they're finally like dating and whatnot. And she took his jacket. This part hit me, y'all. And ladies, this is for y'all. This part hit me, right? She takes his jacket to wear home. And then, well, obviously Gabrielle sees her in the jacket, like, oh, like, why are you wearing a man's jacket? She's like, oh, it's fashion, right? This is the part that hits me. So she's texting him the next day, no response. Well, homegirl didn't stop at 1-2 texts. She sends him multiple texts. Y'all know that's a no-no. You know that's a no-no. You don't do that. You don't do, like, no, don't do that. Even as much as you want to reach out to a man that's not responding back to you, as much as it's crazy, you'll sit at the phone, every single notification you get, like, oh my God, is it him, is it him, is it him? We do that, ladies. You know we do that. We do that, especially someone who we really like. So, come to find out, okay, pause right here. Let me know if you guys do that as well. And how do you guys overcome that? Like, do you guys do other activities to get your mind off of that person? Or do you not? And guys, do you do that too? I want to know this, actually. Men, do you do this too? So, come to find out, actually didn't have his phone on him. The jacket that she took, his phone was in the jacket. And so his only means of contacting her was going to the restaurant that Gabrielle's a chef of, because previously she had told him that she was there to promote it and she knew the chef. So Gabrielle, guy who's in love with Emily, current guy who's in love with Emily become friends watching soccer. And then Gabrielle realized, like, oh shit, wow, what? And he was a little hurt. But in the end, he's like, look, I just want you to be friends with you. I just want you to be happy. I don't want the happiness to kind of be in my face, but I want you to be happy. So all this is going on while her whole career thing is taking a whole different avenue going through, and she's on the verge of, like, making a huge decision, right, of her life. Is she going to stay on the path that she's envisioned her career-wise, like stay here for a year, go back to Chicago, get my promotion, and continue my life in Chicago, or part ways with that and begin to work for Sylvie now? Because Sylvie clashed with the people who now own Savoy, who's Emily's boss. And they pretty much came in trying to do things the American way, not understanding that the way you would do things in American culture and the way you would handle things in French culture are different. In the same way, you cannot take someone in the French culture and try and embed them here and have them trying to force their way. Like, you have to understand where you're at and the culture-wise and how you speak to people and you address people. Like, example, as a Nigerian, there's certain things you do and you just don't do. There are certain things you do in regards to elders. There's certain things you do and you don't do. Some things you say and you just don't say. And that's just part of the culture. As opposed to here in American culture, you can mouth off to an elder and it just be nothing, you know? Like when you walk into a room and you see elders and you greet them first, right? You let them go eat first. It's just a common sense thing in the Nigerian culture. And that's just the basic thing. So like her boss came to France and tried to change things up with Savoy. And they lost all the clients that they had because of how they were treating the clients. Like, I'm sorry, some clients have egos and you have to appeal to the ego. And this is the clients that you've had a relationship with for 20 years, you know? And so Sylvie was like, okay, I'm done. She bought a different place. She bought a place with her husband. Yes, Sylvie's married, y'all. She only lives with her husband, but she's married and has a boyfriend. Yeah, this is some juicy stuff, yo. When I said I binged it. This is some juicy stuff. And so now, and Sylvie, we all know, if you guys watch season 1, Sylvie didn't really like Emily like that, only because she thought Emily was a little ignorant in how she was doing things. But she knew that Emily was coming from a good place, so she took Emily under her wing. And she does see that Emily is active and she is productive and actually good at what she does. So Emily is now deciding, okay, should I stay on this track or should I go with Sylvie and live in Paris for good, you know? And because she felt like she was becoming a robot and like a mini soldier for her boss, and she began to not like how her boss is viewing things. And her boss literally said, I trained you to be this way. and we need many followers. And if you guys are people who think for yourself, you'll know that when someone says that, you kind of have to detach from them. And also Emily being in this position for a while and having someone like working someone like Sylvie who pushes her to be the best and do and think outside of the box. You can't really go back into the box when someone has taught you to come out of the box, you know? So now she's like, oh, yes, I'm having a good time with British guy. I forgot his name. I'll put his name somewhere right here. Now I'm having a good time with him, but I think I'm still in love with Gabrielle. And now that I'm going to stay here longer, maybe I should. Mind you, British guy is going back to London. So they were trying to do the whole long distance. They're now trying to think about doing the whole long distance thing. British guy addressed Gabriel like, hey, what happened between you and Emily? Gabe was like, look, it wasn't a past. It was nothing. Okay. We could have been together. We're not together. I think that was the way for a responsible, like mature person to handle a situation. And he asked Emily as well, straight up. Guys, honestly, what I've come to realize in my 28, almost 29 years of living, the best way to handle situations is to just take them on head on. Don't beat around the bush, just straight on. Nobody beating around the bushes. So he asks them both straight up, and they're like, look, yes, something did happen, but that's in the past. We could have, but we're not. We did it. So he's completely head over heels for Emily. Now Emily has to figure out, okay, am I in it or am I out? And then she's, okay, let me go talk to Gabriel and tell him that I'm staying, and I think I may still be in love with him. Homegirl knocks on the door. Y'all. Knocks on, mind you, I'm already pissed that she's going back to Gabriel, because I'm like, British guy, good. If you don't want him, I'll take him. But she goes and knocks on the door, and it's because to tell Gabriel that, oh, she's actually thinking of staying in Paris for good. She thinks that she's actually going to stay for good because she has a new offer and whatnot to stay permanently because of Sylvia and the whole shebang, right? Right. So as she's talking to Gabriel, he's like struck, and then from the side you hear Camille. And Camille walks up and he's like, oh, hey girl, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, Gabriel asked me to move in, blah, blah, blah. So we're living together now. And Emily's like, huh? After she just told Gabrielle, that she's in love with him. And she's staying. Camille didn't hear any of it because she had headphones on. But Gabrielle is like, yo, I've been telling you this the whole time. What? So now he has to watch, and I feel sorry for him a little bit. Now he has to watch the woman that he does love walk down the stairs and out of his life, probably for good, into another man's arms and live with a woman that he likes. Like, and like in the form of as a friend. And that's why I said I feel sorry for him, but not really, because he didn't have to stay with her. Camille, by the way, he didn't have to take her back. Even if he felt like, okay, I can't have Emily, at least like let me have Camille, because that's unfair towards Camille to a certain point. Even though Camille was the one pushing it and wanted it anyway, I think that's not gonna last. Like, let's take it out from the movie world or the fictional world. If that was in real life, y'all know it's not gonna last. You can't be with someone who just likes you but is in love with someone else. If you, the person who are forced in the situation, at one point you're gonna become exhausted because you're asking for something that this other person cannot give you. What are you gonna do then? What are you gonna do then? Like, you're asking for something that he can't give you his heart because his heart is already with someone else. Yes, he likes you because he cares for you because he's known you for how long. This is going to be a whole mess. So at the end of the day, we don't know whether Emily's staying or going because she hadn't given Sylvie the final answer. I think professional wise, she's going to stay because she does like working in Paris and like working with Sylvie and whatnot. But oh child, the tea is piping hot and I just need me some more. So now I have to wait another year or two for season 3, because it's going to be a season 3. You can't just end it that way. Like, whoever created Emily in Paris, like, I hate y'all because y'all got me hooked. So now, funny story though, I literally went, after I finished watching season 2, I went back to watch season 1 again into season 2. Let me know what y'all thought. I'm sorry, this is a lengthy video, but you know what? I needed to break down Emily in Paris because this whole thing just got me. Like, how do you leave a beautiful British man who's single, who adores you, for someone who's honestly unavailable because that's your friend's ex-boyfriend? And if you are not going to be honest with yourself enough to take accountability of your actions and then continue to pursue him because this person is shedding their soul, bearing their soul to you and telling you how much they care for you, and you're still not, yo, I'm sorry, like, you're deserving what you're deserving. If you're not careful, you're gonna lose other British guy as well, because he too can tell, like, yo, you're Emily here. So that's Emily in Paris for y'all. Like, that's Emily in Paris season 2. I can't wait. Girl, homegirl is tripping. I'm tripping. Everyone in that shit is tripping. And we didn't even talk about Sylvie and her new boyfriend and her ex-boo thing that she was his mistress for, being jealous that she has a new boyfriend, even though we find out as well that Sylvie's also married but does not live with her husband. What is going on? The tea is piping hot, y'all. The tea is piping hot, and I can't wait for my third cup of tea. Season 3. Yeah. So that's all I got for y'all with Emily in Paris. I will be seeing y'all soon. I am gonna do a breakdown of The Witcher as well. Yeah, that's my show too. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thumbs up button. Yeah, I know this is a whole huge spoiler video. So if you don't want to be, I mean, it's a little too late to be saying this now, but if you don't want any more spoilers, if y'all see that my video, the length of this of a review is longer than 10 minutes, spoilers are in it. So love y'all. Emily in Paris, I love y'all too. Great show. Go watch if you haven't watched it, even though I spoiled it for y'all, but I love y'all. Deuces.